This is ContactTalkRadio.com. Consciousness in action. And you are taking action into your consciousness by tuning into Contact Talk Radio.
And on TuneIn.com, Ping.fm, and UpSnap Mobile.
Contact Talk Radio.
When was the last time you felt inspired? Are you ready to take your passions to make a difference while living a life you truly love? Your host, Katana Abbott, who is a life and legacy wealth coach and certified financial planner, searches the world to bring you experts in the field of personal and professional growth, wealth creation, and mind, body, and spirit. So grab a cup of coffee and take that quantum leap you've been waiting for. Smart Women Talk Radio, the link to live with purpose, passion, and prosperity.
Hello, everyone. This is Katana Abbott, and I want to welcome you to Smart Women Talk, where I search the world for smart women and a few good men, including best-selling authors, thought leaders, and change agents who are on that leading edge. Our topics include money, business, health, inspiration, and the metaphysical. So today, I am really excited about interviewing the co-founder and president of Lefkoe Institute. Shelly and I are going to be talking about this huge topic that she really focuses on, which is our limiting beliefs. And today we're going to be talking about them around the idea of loving ourselves and others. So today, Shelly and I are going to talk about why beliefs block change in the unlearning principle, the reason anything we learn doesn't have to last forever. So I do a lot of work myself with disempowering beliefs around many personalities, so I'm so interested in this. And then how to unlearn a belief in 30 minutes. Because we really need to release those beliefs that aren't serving us. So let me just tell you a little bit about Shelly. Shelly Lefkoe is a co-founder and president of the Lefkoe Institute and the founder of Parenting the Lefkoe Way. She has personally worked with thousands of individuals around the world using the Lefkoe Method. She has helped these people eliminate issues as serious as eating disorders, phobias, depressions, as well as everyday problems, just like procrastination, shyness, fear of public speaking, and the inability to form healthy relationships. So she is a speaker and workshop leader, and she's the author of Parenting the Lefkoe Way, which I wish I would have had this early in my marriage, I'll tell you that. So, Shelly, thanks so much for being here today, and we just love connecting.
My pleasure.
You know, I was referred to you through Deborah Poneman. And I actually saw her interviewing you on a video series, which was really exciting. And so I'm really excited. When I saw that, I said, okay, I have to bring you here. And she did the introduction to us. And before we get started, I always love to start these interviews out, begin them with you telling a little bit about your story and what brought you into this work.
Well, I've always been fascinated with what makes people tick. And my husband was very stuck in life. He was depressed. He just, nothing that was supposed to turn out ever turned out. And he started going on what he calls an intellectual, spiritual journey to see how he could improve his life. And, you know, things helped, it got better. He grew as a person, but nothing really changed deeply. So he was on a plane going to California to close a deal to help people create self-esteem and be empowered in California who were on unemployment. Anyway, he started journaling and he was writing why do people know what to do and they don't do it? People don't wear seatbelts. People go into relationships knowing. I'm in Hawaii at my daughter's, and this woman came over one night and she's talking to me about how horrible her ex-boyfriend is, and blah, 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 blah. Next thing you know, she's spending the night with him. So it's like, why do we do these things? We know what we are passionate about and we don't follow our dreams. So he created this process by the time he landed in California, and he came home and we started doing it in corporations. That was the first place we did it, and changing corporate culture. And then one day somebody said, why don't you try to do this with individuals? And he did it with someone who had wanted to get married, wanted to be in a relationship, and just couldn't. It just never worked out for her. And she started sprouting these beliefs. Marriage is confining. Boy, I haven't talked about this in a long time. Marriage is confining. It's suffocating. Men are selfish. Men are emotionally not available. And she had all these beliefs. And I sat there and I said, wow, it's no wonder that she's not in a relationship. And most of our beliefs are unconscious. We don't even know that we have them. I mean, she didn't even realize how many beliefs she had. And so what happened was he did the process that I now have done for 30 years with tens of thousands of people all over the world. And I watched him, Katana, I watched him do it. And I said, this is why I'm on this planet, to do that. It was one of the most powerful experiences. It literally almost knocked me off my chair. I went, oh, that's why I'm here. And that was it. We've grown the process to pretty much we have clients in every country around the world. We have an online product. We have courses. We're teaching people how to do it. And there's never a day that goes by in 30 years that I'm not in awe of the power of it.
So you see this happening with others. You must use it in your own life. And have you transformed your own life? Because I just wrote an article in the newsletter I did about us. I promoted you in your article in the newsletter, right? Well, I wrote an article in there too. And guess what? It was about how limiting beliefs sabotage our relationships. Yes. And mine was from the idea, I told the story, which, is a little embarrassing to tell, but about my husband and I and how we've been married 35 years. But probably 12 years ago, I started doing this work with money personalities, which is about identifying our disempowering belief around money. And there's 5 personalities. And I'm sure you would be able to tell me, oh, that comes from the psychological study of such and such, because I didn't create it. But he and I fought about money because he was a security personality and I was a recognition, and they're totally opposite. That Shelly, when we identified our 2 personalities and then we sat down and were able to see that we were perfect for each other, it totally transformed our relationship. Because how we do things is not just how we do money, it's how we do everything. And then our children observed this, and then he and I were really able to transform that. And our children also were transformed with it because they saw us working together in a very loving way. And we didn't even realize we were reacting the way we did, but we were able to heal it. And so there's, so many people. So I was able to do that in my own life just by doing this program that I went through, and I help people that way. But how have you used it in your life? And when you saw this happen, when you saw this process happen with people, what did you do with it?
Well, so I was very, very, very blessed. I had amazing parents. I had a great childhood, but I had a few beliefs blocking me for sure. And one of the things where I used it in my life was I was very good at things. Things came very easily to me. So I never realized that I had the belief I'm not capable. And I had a mom who did everything for me, too much. And when I went to my husband and I said, I notice that when things get hard for me, I don't do them. I staff them out, or I ask a friend, or I just don't do them. And I had asked a friend of mine, how did you learn PowerPoint? And she said, well, I got on and I failed and failed and failed until I got it. And I would never do that. So my big beliefs were, I'm not capable. Mistakes and failures are bad. Even though I knew I could have written a book on why I knew that wasn't true, I still had the belief. And the biggest belief I got rid of was, what makes me good enough is having other people think well of me. And I just spoke right before COVID. I spoke in Croatia in front of 600 people, and Russia in front of a few hundred people. And people will like me, they won't like me. Yeah, and it's not that I don't care. It just no longer defines me. So I'm just free to be fully self-expressed and contribute, which is all I want to do. So not worrying about what people think really changed my life. And I think it's a belief that most people have.
You mean all of us are afraid of what other people think?
Most people, yes.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah,
absolutely.
And when you get rid of that belief, it's very, very, very powerful. It's life-changing.
So do you and your husband use these exercises like at home? Do you pick up, like, you notice when something's going on with beliefs, or limiting beliefs with each other, or how does that?
My husband's gone. My husband died 5
when
years
did he?
ago.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, me too. So, there's a couple of things that we do. So both of us are pretty cooked. I mean, every once in a while something will come up, but for the most part, I've done a lot of work. He did massive. There's not a belief that he didn't eliminate. We have another process that's very simple that we teach, and it's based on the premise that events do not have inherent meaning. So we don't know anything for sure because something happens. So when he died, that was horrible and sad and devastating, but it doesn't mean I'll never be happy again, or I'll never love again, or I'm going to starve to death. So we have a technique, and we have a course called the Occurring Course that teaches people how to do that. And when people work with me privately, I teach them how to use that tool so you can get rid of an emotion in any given moment, a negative emotion in the moment. So it's not about using it. It's about looking at your life and seeing where you're stuck and getting rid of, it's so funny. People talk about limiting beliefs. All beliefs are limiting by their nature, because if something is true, it's true, then that limits you now, it could be a great belief, but beliefs are always limiting. They stop because something is true, then something is not true. So it keeps you from being open. Mm-hmm. But the only beliefs we want to get rid of are the beliefs that are in our way. And underlying basically every pattern, from procrastination to the ones that you said, relationship issues, there's a lot of information out there. People will tell you how to love yourself. You can take 62 courses. And unless you get rid of your fundamental self-esteem beliefs, it's going to be, my experience is, it's going to be very hard to do that. The most common self-esteem beliefs. So if everybody listening wants to experience this, just take a deep breath and just say, I'm not good enough. Now say, I'm a monkey. So when you say I'm a monkey, it probably feels silly or just empty. When you say I'm not good enough, it feels yucky to say. And people say, well, it's not a good thing to say. No, it's just words. I'm not good enough. They're just words, but they're charged generally because you believe it. And that's a belief that pretty much, again, everybody I've ever worked with in Uganda and Pakistan have that belief. And we have a process that quickly and permanently eliminates it. And, a lot of things say they do. And my experience is the beliefs come back usually, and in this work they don't. And if you've had experience eliminating beliefs other ways, that's awesome. So beliefs about relationships, beliefs about men are selfish, men won't be there for me, I'm not what men want. Beliefs, the first time I ever heard the belief, a very close friend of mine had a violent alcoholic father who used to beat her mother. And when she asked her mother, why do you stay with him? She said, because I love him. And she concluded, love is stupid, dangerous, and painful.
Mm.
And the first time I heard the belief, love is painful, I almost fell off my chair. I said, what? How could love be painful? But if you have relationships, if the people that you love are mean to you, you might conclude love is painful. The belief.
And I was going to say that I was working in a shelter teaching financial literacy to these gals, and they could come from money families, or families with no money, because it was a shelter to protect the women from men that were abusing them and their children. And they kept them there for 2 years in housing. It was really an amazing program. And so it was a diverse group. And so I asked them, what do they do with money when they get it? Do you know what the overwhelming answer was?
Get rid of it.
Yes. And I said, why? And the one gal said it so clear. She says, because money, it means pain. And in my relationship, every time I got money, it was taken from me or I lost it. So I try to get rid of it. And so they all went, oh my God.
That's a great example.
So they were very open to doing this program with me because they saw my background, where I had come from, and it was amazing to see these ladies transform. But so is the first thing for us to actually to say it, to have like awareness about it?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what it was like, awakening for them when they said it, and then they were like, oh no.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, people say awareness is the first step. Well, yes, you can't eliminate a belief if you don't know that you have it. And again, the purpose of our work is not to eliminate beliefs, it's to eliminate what we call patterns. So a pattern is something that you do over and over again, not something that happens just once. And a pattern is observable. I can watch you procrastinate, but a belief is not observable. And that's very much the premise of our work, is our beliefs stay with us throughout our lives because we actually think that we saw them in the world to be seen. So
where did those beliefs come from? Yeah.
That's a great question.
Yeah.
So we come into the world as a little ball of consciousness, as I say, and we don't know anything about ourselves, life, or people. And we look around, and if you get criticized a lot by your parents, little kids ask the question, why? Why can't I have a play date? Why can't I have dessert? Why is mommy mad at me? Why am I being criticized all the time? Well, I guess I'm not good enough. Why are my parents, one of the reasons I created a parenting course was because if parents are not attentive and staring at their smartphones while their children are talking to them, their kids are going to conclude I'm not important. It's not a good belief you want to go through life with. And I'll tell you how your beliefs manifest in a minute. So if your parents are, so the self-esteem comes from that. If you don't get hugs and kisses, you're going to conclude I'm not lovable or I'm not worth loving. If you are always told no, 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 or you don't deserve to have anything, or whatever your parents said. Another belief that Katana was talking about is I don't deserve. So they get rid of the money because they don't even feel like they deserve it. Beliefs about money come from your parents struggling, or, if your parents have a lot of money, you'll conclude money is always going to be there when I need it. If your parents are struggling and complaining about not having money, you'll conclude money is scarce and hard to get. If your parents are complaining about life, you'll conclude life is a struggle. If your Parents fight all the time. You might conclude relationships don't work. So you're making sense of the world based on two people out of, 7 billion. And we actually think that we're seeing those beliefs in the world. Like, can't you see life's a struggle? Look. No, I can see your parents struggling, but not life is a struggle. So we have steps to our process where we identify the pattern, we identify the belief, and then we get to the source of it. Then we eliminate it. Then we go into a little powerful place of you experiencing yourself as kind of the creator of all of it. And so that's where our beliefs come from. And the way they manifest, if you have beliefs that money is scarce and hard to get, or it's not safe to speak up. If you have the belief it's not safe to speak up, you're not going to speak up. And if you don't speak up, you won't ask for what you want. And if you don't ask for what you want, you probably won't have it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And so let's relate that to all the women on the phone listening, because one of the biggest beliefs women have is that it's about I'm not good enough, or I'm not worth it to ask for more. Women have like when a man and a woman go in for the interview for the job, they both have the same skills. The man is going to ask for more and think he's worth more than more than maybe he is, where the woman is going to come in quite often. I don't want to just totally generalize, but she's just grateful. Okay, fine. Whatever you're offering. I mean, not with everyone, but where does that come from? That had to come from how we were raised.
Yeah. I think that's
with us.
Yeah. I think that's changing a lot. I think it's true for both men and women. But older people who are older, not millennials, have that belief more because we were raised like that. I mean, my brother was going to go to college and I didn't have to. I was supposed to get married and have kids. Society, I mean, even today, women are known to make far less for the same job that men do. So it's just the way it was. I mean, women didn't have the vote at some point.
Yeah.
So it's, so we come into this world and, we look around and we see mostly men in the boardroom, and we see mostly men in the cabinet, and we see, in Washington, and we see wherever, you live, it is mostly, the leaders are mostly men. So we conclude things like, well, I guess men are worth more than women, or, men are the leaders, not women. And, since Michelle Obama and Hillary Clinton and Condoleezza Rice and, Madeleine Albright, there are women who are stepping up, AOC, and, Alexandria Cortez. And I'm using American references. I don't know what your audience is, but I speak to a lot of international audiences.
Oh, yeah.
But, there's one Margaret Thatcher, or Angela Merkel, in a room with,
Liz Cheney speaking up.
Yeah.
I mean, against a lot of adversity.
Yeah. So again, we come into a world and we conclude things based on what we see when we get here. And that's what we see.
Yeah. Well, I just know it's really prevalent. A lot of the women that I work with, about asking for what they're worth. And even I had to go through a course with Barbara Stanny Houston, Barbara Houston, right? I did that years ago, and she did her Overcoming Under Earning course. And it was really powerful. I mean, I went away there, I came back, and then I doubled my fees. And then my clients were like, well, we wondered when you were going to do that. I was just, and then I felt better. They felt better. And it was just really, honestly, they did feel better that I was charging for what I was worth, because then I wasn't tied to the outcome. Let's put it that way. I'll just keep it that simple. So I think, doing this kind of work is so important, because it makes such a big just such a big transformation in people's lives and what they are capable of. And I know you have some stories. Can you just share a story because people relate to that when they hear about where someone was, what the belief was, where it came from, and then how they transformed, I guess, is what happened afterwards.
Well, I have 100,000 stories, but I want to tell you a good one. I have a daughter. My daughter is 32 years old. Not the one in Hawaii where I am now. But my 32-year-old daughter has been trained to do what we do. And she was raised, with this in her life. And she's brilliant. And she chose a niche of business people. And she charges for personal clients, she charges, I think, $4,000, and business clients are $6,000 to $10,000 a month. And there's 4 sessions and some catch-ups. And I was like, because I don't charge anywhere near that. And she said to me, Mom, in business, if you don't charge that, people don't take you seriously. Wow. That's a belief. If you don't charge a lot of money, people won't take you seriously. And given that belief, she delivers. I mean, people are ecstatic when they work with her, but that's a belief, as opposed to, oh, I can't charge so much money because, it's too much and people won't pay it. The other thing.
So where did that belief come from? That if you don't charge enough in business, they're not going to take you seriously? Because that's pretty powerful.
Yeah, I don't know. I never asked her where that belief came from. It's funny. It is. Yeah. And she's brilliant. She's so brilliant. Anybody who works with her would be getting their money's worth for sure.
Yeah.
But she was saying it's not charge a lot. That's not what she was saying. She wasn't saying overcharge. She was saying don't undercharge, because then people won't think that, you're good. So don't undercharge I want to make sure she's
right.
No, it's not about overcharging. It's not undercharging. And then the stories I can talk about. I worked with somebody recently who had a dream of starting her own business, and she kept starting and stopping and starting and stopping and starting and stopping. And she got rid of a belief. Her father used to say to her things like, in fact, my father used to say similar things. That's why it came to me. You don't think, you don't use your head, you're just not smart. My father never said that to me, but her father did. And she had the belief, I'm not smart and I'm not capable, and I'll never, he once said to her, oh, you'll never amount to anything. So these were dreams. Oh yeah.
That's so sad.
And she got rid of those beliefs and pulled the trigger and started her business. And she brought in $40 million. And that was years ago. And then she recently called me and she said something came up, and she realized that she had the belief that you can't trust people. People will screw you. And she kept having people not do what they said they're going to do. And so we worked on that. And she's now in great shape. Her father was screwed over by a business partner. And so she concluded people can't be trusted. And that's a very common belief.
Is this the same person? The same person?
Yeah, same person. Mm-hmm. Yeah. When you have parents who don't do what they say they're going to do, or break their promises, or tell you not to trust people, you might conclude people can't be trusted. I worked with a man. This was cool because this was one session. He had the belief that he wanted to start his own business, and being an entrepreneur was not only having a job was safe, not being an entrepreneur. And if you look at all the people who lost their jobs during COVID, as opposed to or in a recession, as opposed to people like me who have their own business, who never missed a beat. I had the best January I've ever had in business during COVID.
Because you're able to work virtually, is what you're saying.
Yeah. And people need this work.
They
So,
need this work right now, really
yeah.
bad.
Yeah. So, and they have time to do it because they're home. That's
Right.
the other thing. But he got rid of that belief, started a business. He's wildly successful. I couldn't believe when I spoke to him what he had got his business up to. And now he wants to buy out his partner, and he was hesitant, so he worked with me.
Wait, so he came back to you because he was hesitant about buying out the partner. Like, is this a smart thing to do?
Yeah. And what beliefs do I have that has me not, I keep putting it off. And, but I want to talk about beliefs about procrastination. So I could tell you a bazillion stories, but the bottom line on procrastination is I'm not good enough. Mistakes and failures are bad. If I make a mistake or fail, I'll be rejected. What makes me good enough is having other people think well of me. The workaholic belief, what makes me good enough is achieving things. So if you believe your worth and value, your good enoughness is a function of achieving things, and you don't achieve something, your self-esteem is going to go down the toilet. So you procrastinate. And the other belief with procrastination is no matter what I do, it'll never be good enough. And I've worked with thousands of people who.
So you just do nothing.
Procrastinate. You do nothing. Or you start and stop. I have one client who starts a business and then starts another one and then closes that one and starts another one and never brings his businesses to fruition.
What about the belief? What about procrastination related to what if I do it and it's overwhelmingly successful and I'm trapped because I can't get out now? Like it's not going to be fun. Like, okay, I'll have the money, but I'm going to be just miserable.
That's right. Well, that's
so much work.
Yeah, that's exactly. There's a belief that you have to work very hard or give up your life in order to be successful. Richard Branson starts businesses and has no interest in running them, just turns them over. He has over 100 businesses. So that's not true. And he's on Necker Island hanging out and having fun. So that's not true. But people believe that, you have to work hard. People also believe if I'm successful, I can't have a life. But more people fear failure than fear success. It's much, much more common.
They fear failure more than success. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So, I just want to ask a little bit more. Then I want you to tell us how we would get started with this process. I'm really interested in that, especially, one of the things we said we'd share is how to unlearn a belief in 30 minutes. And is that part of what you do in this Lefkoe system?
That is what we do.
Wow.
And it could take less than 30, the first session, is 30 minutes for a belief. But after that, it's, I have clients who eliminate 4, 5, 6 beliefs in a session and they're gone. I mean, it's not woo-woo. It's not airy-fairy. It's not, tapping. It's not, not that tapping's airy-fairy. Tapping helps people tremendously. I just don't know that it gets rid of beliefs permanently, maybe for some people, but not in my experience. You have to keep doing it. My work, you don't have to keep doing it. I believe people should enjoy their lives, not spend their lives working on themselves. And that's why I call myself a results girl.
Oh, I love that. Well, one of the things that I heard, why don't beliefs go away on their own when we realize that they're harming?
Evidence.
So we're like, yes, so that's you go, okay, this is just like, if I keep up with this belief, I'm going to be homeless, but you can't get rid of the belief. Or is that, right. Or could you just go, okay, I'm just not going to believe that way anymore?
Not in my world. I don't do that. And
of course not. Yeah.
Evidence doesn't get rid of your beliefs. Katana, and that's a great question because I have worked with, and I feel like I lose credibility when I say it, but it's true. I have worked with 5 Harvard PhDs who all had the belief I'm stupid. Now they know they're not stupid. They have Harvard PhDs. But I said to one of them, how'd you get through Harvard? And he said, oh, I conned my way through Harvard.
Oh
And you
my
don't con
goodness.
your way through Harvard.
Yes, yeah.
So if I said to you, we're on audio. I'm not used to that. So if I said to you, I am, let me see. So look at something in your room.
Okay.
If I said to you, that thing is a gumball machine, you would say, no, it's not. It's a mirror or a chest of drawers or a clock.
Yeah.
And I'd say, no, it's a gumball machine. And you'd say, no, it's not. Because you think you are seeing that thing.
Mm-hmm.
So if you see something, you can't believe that it's not the truth. So if you were looking at me and Katana said Shelly's a blonde, you'd say, no, she's a redhead. And you would argue to the death that I'm a redhead. But if I took my wig off and you saw, oh my God, she's really a blonde, the belief that I'm a redhead would go away.
Yes.
Santa Claus. You believe in Santa Claus, and one day you see your father with a Santa Claus beard and you go, oh my God, there's no Santa Claus. I made that up. So our beliefs stay with us because we think we saw them, and you can't not believe something you think you saw. So in our process, we have a way that we work with you to get rid of that belief that you saw whatever it was you believe.
Wow.
The thing is not so much that step is very, very powerful, but it's also knowing what beliefs underlie what specific pattern. So we have, I think our free gift is for you to be able to eliminate a belief for free. And that will take you through the process. We give you 3 of the most common self-esteem beliefs. I'm not good enough, I'm not important, and mistakes and failures are bad. And when you get rid of that belief, you'll have an experience of what the process is. And then it takes you to a link for natural confidence. So underlying procrastination, workaholism, the most common basic patterns of low self-esteem, we have taken the 19 most common self-esteem beliefs and put them in a package with where a video, Morty or I will take you through the process. Now, obviously, it's different than working one-on-one with somebody who can say, okay, beliefs about relationships, beliefs about this, beliefs about that. But in terms of the most fundamental beliefs that underlie most basic patterns, this program, you'll see 10 million testimonials, and it's very affordable, and it's life-changing. So when I was on Deborah Poneman's show, she had 1,000 people on the call, and so far they're selling every day. We've sold over 100 natural confidence programs, and we have gotten the most phenomenal feedback.
So tell me, so I'm always in Deborah Poneman's programs. I did the one with Ronnie Newman too, the ageless living, I guess. A whole weekend. I mean, my goodness, and I'll go to North Carolina. I'm going to go on that retreat too. I'm looking forward to that. So, and so she always has the best people. I'm telling you,
she's the best person.
She is at a soul level.
Soul,
yes,
soul level.
Yes,
yeah. She is the real deal.
No, she's so for everyone listening, Deborah Poneman is Yes to Success. She'll be on next month. So for those that are listening live, so awesome. to make sure. I'm so interested in this. So people can, and you actually are one of our Smart Women Empower Women partners. You've put this on our website, on the Smart Women Empowerment, Smart Women's Academy. So can you please tell our listeners how they can go get your gift? If not, I can have them always come to the Smart Women's Academy, and then they can connect with you that way. But they come in and they get the free gift, and they can actually go through the process.
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't done it yet there, so I'm so excited.
Oh, I would have thought, okay.
No, I haven't. No, I haven't. No, and I've been the last couple of weeks. We just got it up, and I've been dealing with, as why we're not on video, because I just had surgery.
Yeah.
So anyway, I've taken a little break here. So, but I definitely wanted to do this myself. So they come and they do the free program, and it will walk them through it. And then what happens? They get a report, or is there a class they sign up for, or what happens?
They can sign up for the Natural Confidence program.
Okay.
And that's a self-guided course. You do it on your own time. You could do one belief a day, a week, a month. You could do 3 a day. We could do whatever you want. It will tell you for each belief to say it out loud, and then we'll show you how to know that you have the belief. And then it'll take you through each step of the process until it goes away.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. So I'm so glad that you are giving that program to us. And
we want everybody to get rid of their self-esteem beliefs, because when you believe in yourself, women, you can conquer the world. Sisterhood is the best thing in the world. And I always want to tell people, when I'm on particularly shows that are women, get yourself girlfriends, get yourself a women's group. I've been in a women's group for 12 years with Marcy Scheimoff and some just fabulous women. And we have each other's back. We've gone through financial stuff. We've gone through divorces. We've gone through deaths, loss of parents, loss of husband in my case, and my parents. And women will have your back like no one else in the world. I can't impress upon you enough. Start when you're young, and get yourself a women's group or a circle of women. We meet once a month, and we're just there for each other, no matter what.
Isn't that wonderful? Well, that's why I created Smart Women's Empowerment. I created that as a community, about 10 years ago. And we've got people from all over the world. And there's some, you're right. There's something to be said about in a safe environment where you can go and you can speak your truth and not be judged, and just get that support from your sisters too. So, so anyway, for those that are listening, I just want to say, you can, if you're part of Smart Women, you can go to the Smart Women's Academy and go to the Smart Women Empower Women Resource Center, and you can see all the free gifts. Marcy Scheimoff has one, Deborah Poneman has one, Christy Whitney has a gift there. If you're listening and you can write down this URL, you can go to www.recreateyourlife. Very easy. recreateyourlife.com/free. And so that's how you can take the program. And tell us again what the program is called.
Natural Confidence.
Okay, great. But when they go to this link, they're going to first take like an assessment.
Not an assessment. You're going to eliminate a belief.
Right then, you're going to do it. Right
then. It's going to give you 3 options. Pick one, and then it's going to take you through the process.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's just wonderful. So have you had anyone contact you and tell you, just from doing that exercise, that they were able to eliminate a belief and how it's helped them?
Oh, thousands.
Oh my gosh. And okay, everybody.
Let me say, for Natural Confidence, tens of thousands.
Wow.
Lots of people say, some people will say, I eliminated a belief and it changed my life. I am not telling you that.
No.
The elimination of one belief most likely will not change your life. Now, for some people, getting rid of I'm not good enough, or I'm not important, or mistakes and failures are bad, can have a profound impact for sure. But it probably will not get rid of a pattern. So it's not going to handle your procrastination. It's not going to handle everything. But But if you do the natural confidence program, that will put a big chunk of power into your life and probably get rid of a pattern.
Oh, that's great. Okay. So let's all go do this. So it's recreateyourlife.com/free.
And let us know.
Yes.
Let us know how you do.
Oh, I'm going to go do this. And
Good.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Shelly, thank you so much for being here.
My pleasure. I have to acknowledge you, Katana, because most people, anybody who ever says they're going to interview me for less than an hour doesn't. They just go on and on. So I appreciate that you stuck to it.
I've done 1 hour shows for 10 years and we're shortening them down. We started at 35 minutes. It was not enough. I did that with Marcy because she wanted short, and it was we did it right during the holidays. So, so now I've got it at 45 minutes and I think it's okay.
Good. Okay. And maybe someday we'll come back and do video.
Oh, you know what I'd love to do is something through the Smart Women's Academy. It would be fantastic. Okay.
Good.
And I will definitely do video that time. So
I just want to thank everybody for taking the time to listen to me. You have very busy lives and lots of things you could have been doing. So that you took 45 minutes out of your life to listen to me is an honor. And I thank you for that.
Oh, well, it's been a pleasure. I'm so excited to share this because, again, I do this kind of work, but it takes me 90 minutes with someone. And to think that I can actually have that available for people to go do all these different beliefs when they come up, that's just thank you. That's great.
Awesome.
So,
thank you for having me.
Yes, thanks for being here. I appreciate it. And everyone, remember to check in with us next time. We're going to have relationship expert Renee Pena with us. She's the she does reinvent your relationships, and she is the love coach. So you will love her. And all of this is in honor of Valentine's Day and Go Red for Heart this month. So those listening live, we're doing it live. So until our next show, go out and live with more purpose, passion, and prosperity.
Thank you for joining us here at Smart Women Talk Radio, a place to learn, prosper, and grow. Tune in again next week for another exciting episode of Smart Women on the CTR Network. And remember to live with purpose, passion, and prosperity.